Hello, friends. In this time of uncertainty, I'd like to take just a few minutes to talk about what we can learn from the history of the Moravian Church. Now, I've never been a Moravian, but I have a great appreciation for the spiritual heritage that we have here in Forsyth County from the Moravian Church. Much of what I'll say now comes from a little book called Through 500 Years, A Popular History of the Moravian Church. And in this book, I learned that in 1722, a group of persecuted Protestants from Moravia were allowed to settle on the estate of a wealthy count named Nicholas von Zinzendorf. After they'd been there a few years, there arose a significant dissension among them, and in 1727, there was a special communion service held. It was at this celebration of the Lord's Supper that these Moravians experienced a special outpouring of the Holy Spirit that resulted in a great love for one another. Shortly after this time, the Moravians began what was called the hourly intercession. Two people praying every hour for 24 hours a day, each taking an hour commitment. It's said that this prayer focus went on for 100 years. And it's no surprise that shortly after that, the Moravians began to experience a real work of the Holy Spirit to meet the needs of others beyond their own group. The Moravians became involved in world missions, first in the West Indies, later in other parts of the world. So what do we learn from the Moravians that we can apply to our lives today, especially in this uncertain time in which we live? I think the first is the importance of demonstrating love for one another. Friends, our world needs to see love amongst followers of Jesus. We're living in a very divided world right now. And Jesus has said that one of the most clear marks of his followers, he said, they'll know you're my followers if you have love for one another. Number two, the importance of committed, faithful, united prayer. And number three, focus on the needs of others, local and world missions. I want to ask you to join me in making a commitment from now until this uncertain period ends of praying at least 5 minutes a day with at least one other person for a greater work of the Holy Spirit in our lives, in our church, in our community, and in our nation, so that when we are able to gather together again, we'll not only experience great love for one another, but we'll have a greater commitment to prayer and to meeting the needs of others in local and world missions. May the Holy Spirit strengthen you with might in your innermost being so that you will not just go through this time of uncertainty, you'll grow through this time of uncertainty.